Welcome to this educational video about memory difficulties after an injury. This educational video is brought to you by Cheshire and Merseyside Rehabilitation Network. If you have any further questions about the content of this educational video, please contact your treating team who'll be more than happy to help you. Other helpful resources include the Headway website and the Brain Charity website. If you put these into Google, they should come up. So firstly, what is memory? Memory is not just one thing. It's many different areas of our brain working together. After an injury, you may find that you're struggling with some parts of your memory and not others. This is because there are a lot of different systems working together and only one may be affected. You may find it hard to remember what you did day to day, but remember where you lived as a child and your days at school. Or you may find that you're struggling to remember things that have happened a long time ago, but you can remember what you've done each day since you left the hospital. Our memories can be affected in many different ways. Different injuries result in different difficulties. This video will explain what the different parts of the memory system are, why they are important, and what happens when one is not working very well. It will also give you some suggestions on how to help yourself if you are finding that you're struggling to remember things. Long-term memory. This is our memory of things that has happened a few days to a few years ago. This is like a big filing cabinet. Each drawer has different files, and within those files are different sheets of paper, which are our different memories. You can go into the birthday drawer, pull out the file on your birthdays, or the file on your friends' birthdays, or your family members' birthdays. For memories to be stored here and put safely into the drawers, then they need to move from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. Sometimes, after an injury, people can have trouble moving information from their short-term memory into their long-term memory, and this is why they cannot remember things after they have happened. Like if you don't file a piece of paperwork and then cannot remember where you put it. Autobiographical memory. This is our own life story. Only we have this version of events in our mind, like birthdays, our first day at school or a new job, or a big achievement that we accomplished. Sometimes, after an injury, people can struggle to remember their life before their injury, and this can be really distressing for them and for their family and loved ones. Types of long-term memory. So our semantic memory is another type of memory that we have in our long-term memory store. These are facts that we know to be true, our general knowledge. We can't always remember where or when we learned them, but they are in our long-term memory and we know that they are true. Like the fact that London is the capital of England, or that fish live in the sea. Semantic memory can also be affected after an injury. Another part of our long-term memory is our procedural memory. This is a part that is responsible for knowing how to do things. Our procedural memory stores information on how to perform certain procedures, such as walking, making a hot drink, and riding a bike. Again, this can also be affected after an injury. Short-term memory. This is the memory of things that has just happened or the information that you're currently thinking about or you are currently aware of. For example, you can recall information that you were just exposed to, like the information in this video. Some things will go from your short-term memory into your long-term memory, and others won't. And you may have to watch this video again to remember all the information that was presented. Working memory. This overlaps with our short-term memory. However, it's a memory system that keeps information for long enough so that we can use it. It helps us to plan, process thoughts, carry out ideas. Think of it as your short-term memory that uses information stored in your long-term memory so that you can make a decision. Our working memory can only hold a small amount of information at any one time. Like if someone gives you a phone number, you may not be able to recall it, and you may have to ask them to repeat it. People that struggle with their working memory can find it hard to plan tasks and carry out the actions that they want to. Ways to support your memory. Ways to support your memory. It's important to speak with your healthcare provider to help you figure out what difficulties you are having with your memory. As we've seen, there are many different parts, and people can struggle with specific parts of their memory systems, or they can struggle with the links between these systems. There may be nothing wrong with your short-term or your working memory, but if you're having trouble getting the information to go from these systems into your long-term memory, you will have trouble remembering new information. When you know the part of the memory system that you have been having trouble with, you can put aids in place to help yourself so that you can be more independent. Common helpful tips. There are many helpful things that anyone can do if they find they are struggling to remember things. These include leaving things in the same place in your home. These are items that are often misplaced, but that we use regularly, such as our keys, taking daily medications, and our wallet or our handbag. With your keys, you can hang them by the front door or place them in a bowl next to the front door. If you store your medication in the same place, then you'll know where to find it each day. This is the same for your wallet or handbag. These are two very important items. And this will also help to lighten the load on your memory, as these behaviours will start to become routine. If you repeat this activity every day, then you don't have to try and remember where you last saw the item. It will help this information go from your short-term memory into your long-term memory store. We also recommend putting clear labels on cupboards and drawer doors to tell you what's inside of them. This will save you time and energy searching through every cupboard once or twice to find a mug for your brew or to try and find the tin of beans for your beans on toast in the evening. Searching through cupboards can also be really frustrating, and it can make you feel overwhelmed if you can't find what you're searching for. This can then make you feel really tired. Therefore, putting some labels on the front so you can easily see what's inside can be a big help and a time saver. We also recommend having a whiteboard with the date and the day written on it, and this can help you if you're struggling to remember what day it is. This can help orientate you in the morning and will save you feeling confused or anxious if you're unaware of what day it is. If you can, try to have this in your bedroom so that that is the first thing that you see when you wake up in the morning. We also recommend having a diary to write down important appointments or dates. You can also record what you've done for the day, so then you can look back on it each evening or each week and remind yourself what you've been doing. You can also use a phone to prompt you and to put reminders on it, like to take your medication at a certain time each day or for important appointments or dates that are coming up. You can also have an electronic diary in the Notes app on your phone if you don't want to have a hard copy that you could misplace. You can also take photos and videos each day to remind yourself of what you've been doing. We also recommend, if you're struggling to remember things before your injury, that you could create a life storybook using photos and short notes. You can then use this to remind yourself, and you can also share it with others. Finally, repetition. Repeating things over and over is also really helpful, as it gets information from your short-term memory into your long-term memory store. This may take longer than it did before your injury, but if you have a routine and do the same tasks at the same time each day, you will find that this may help with feeling stressed and overwhelmed when you're struggling to remember things. unhelpful behaviours. There are many things that we can do that can be unhelpful for our memory. These include being negative about ourselves or being mean to ourselves because we're struggling with our memory. Not asking for help when we may need it. Writing things on bits of scrap paper that can get lost, or writing important information on our hand and then washing our hands and losing the information. Trying to do too much and then becoming fatigued, as fatigue will further impact your memory and make it more difficult for you to remember things. Furthermore, importantly, if you feel that your memory difficulty is affecting your mood, your stress levels, or you're feeling overwhelmed, then please speak to your healthcare provider for more information. Thank you for listening. If you do have any questions about your own difficulties with your memory or anything else discussed in this video, please contact your care team for more information. They will be more than happy to help and support you.